is the referee for today's game as we watch the coin toss taking place at midfield. Hudson Mason, first full year as a starter. He started a few games behind Aaron Murray, but this team is his now.
The last 2 years, whenever I went to watch a Georgia practice, obviously Aaron Murray was the quarterback. But Mark Richt and Mike Bobo went out of their way to tell me how much confidence they had in Hudson Mason, and they always used the term, he's a gunslinger. Now, he hasn't shown that yet. He came out of a spread offense in high school. Be interesting to see the style of this football game early.
Well, we're going to have to wait to see it because South Carolina won the toss and has elected to receive. You see scattered thunderstorms through midnight. The percentage was set at 60%, and it certainly equaled, if not surpassed that. But the rain was not the problem here at Williams-Brice. It was lightning. 67th meeting between the two. South Carolina joined the SEC in 1992 along with Arkansas. And the Gamecocks have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. Georgia won last season 41-30, and a symbol of the Gamecocks, Sandstorm, the name of the song.
And Bird John Theus was asked, what do you remember from going to Williams-Brice 2 years ago? He said one word, Sandstorm, the song. I'm sick of it.
Marshall Morgan will kick off. Sean Carson is back to return. And that will be a touchback and comes out to the 20-yard line. And let us introduce you to the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. Dylan Thompson, the quarterback. Gary said earlier, Connor Shaw about as tough to replace at that position.
I believe he has been. South Carolina is a shotgun team. They depend on the quarterback to make plays with his feet and passing the ball. Dylan Thompson has bailed out South Carolina with some big plays with his arm. Let's see where he's at.
First down 10 from the 20. Mike Davis and Brandon Wiles, 2 running backs, one behind Thompson. Play action, flip into the left flat. It's Mike Davis, stiff arm. Oh, he got right in the grill of Ramik Wilson, number 51. And the remainder of the South Carolina offense, Robinson and Can strong on the left side. Knott is a true freshman. A.J. Can, perhaps the best of the offensive line. Particularly effective on that blind side of Dylan Thompson. Nicky Jones, number 3, breaks and goes left. They line up 2 to the left, 2 wide right. Georgia with 4 down brings only 4. Deep down the middle, it's complete. Nicky Jones. Gain of 21.
So easy, just a square in from the backside. Linebackers sit on the running backs inside. Nick Jones gets behind the linebacker's perfect throw. Good enough protection. He gets rid of the ball. Be careful there, big guy. They're going to call that this year.
11th catch of the season for number 3. He's not all that big, but very effective. First down and 10. Thompson straight down the middle. Rory Anderson, first down, South Carolina.
I'll tell you, at this time, Georgia had a bust. The linebackers playing man-to-man, and the secondary's playing zone. Watch the linebacker jump on the running back, and the rest of the secondary's playing zone behind it. Number 1 mistake early in the game. Georgia has a bust in the secondary.
And that is a gain of 20. They'll run it inside. Darts to the left does Mike Davis. Let's introduce you to the Bulldog defense. Up front, Deloach, Thornton, and Bailey. Keep your eye on number 4, 84, Leonard Floyd. Herrera had 12 tackles in the first game. The secondary, a little suspect.
Actually, for both teams.
Yeah.
You're right. You know, remember, Clemson had 306 yards of offense in the first half last game against Georgia, 55 plays. Everybody remembers the second half. Clemson had success in the first half.
Corner blitz.
Yeah, that's a big play.
Yes, indeed. Pharaoh Cooper, number 11, but hit immediately by Ramik Wilson, number 51. 10th game as the 10th year as the head coach, 15-6 against Georgia. With a victory today, Steve Spurrier would equal Vince Dooley, the longtime Georgia coach, with second most wins in the SEC.
I think Georgia took a timeout. They were confused. I wonder if they had too many men on the field.
Very effective opening sequence for the Gamecocks. SEC on CBS is sponsored by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Bud Light, Pfizer, and by Sonic. And we are back at Williams-Brice Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. Gary picked up on it. Georgia had 12 men on the field. Thus the timeout, and now 3rd and 6 at the 28. This the opening drive of a game that was delayed, the start of which, by an hour and 26 minutes. Thompson open, right down the middle, Shaq Rowland. That's a gain of 12 for the former Mr. Football.
Don't understand the coverage again. Bowman, number 37, just leaves his guy go. Right there. I don't know what he's doing. Somebody's playing man-to-man. Somebody's playing zone again. Seem to not be on the same page for Jeremy Pruitt's defense.
Jeremy Pruitt, the new defensive coordinator for Mark Richt's team, came over from Florida State a year ago.
They did not blitz on that third down play either. Just brought 4.
Gain of 12, first down, scoreless first quarter. Handed off to Davis, he goes left. Keeps driving inside the 10.
Vern, that defensive front 7 for Georgia is very athletic, and they're very good at getting the passer. One of the questions that have to be answered is, can they stand up to a power running game? South Carolina is huge, especially on the left side of the line.
That's Robinson and Can on that left side, and this time collapsed. And let's check the Verizon Red Zone stats this season. They have scored 4 touchdowns in 6 previous trips.
Well, one of the things Steve Spurrier said about last week's win against East Carolina, they won by 10, but kicked 4 field goals. We have to do better in the red zone.
3rd and 5 here. Pharaoh Cooper is the inside man, bottom of your screen. Nick Jones is the outside. And Shaq Rowland, top of the screen. They look toward Rowland. He turns around, and he has got it. Touchdown!
Tremendous execution. Shaq Rowland, one of those South Carolina Players of the Year that Steve Spurrier recruited. He was a 5-star recruit. There's always been a little disappointment of when he was going to break out. But on that play, Georgia had him double covered, inside and out with a corner and a safety, and South Carolina still made it work.
And, of course, he hit the inside of the pylon. That's the touchdown. Beat Aaron Davis. Elliott Fry converts the extra point. Well, what delay. What thunder. Here's a little lightning for you. Quick strike.
You can see the double coverage right here, and this was just Dylan Thompson say, I want to go to Roland. I believe he can do it against Aaron Davis. Throws it, little bit of a shove on Aaron Davis. Got away with it. And instead of a field goal, South Carolina puts it into the end zone for their opening drive.
Follow Georgia, South Carolina, or your favorite team all on your phone. Download the CBS Sports app now for lightning-fast scores, breaking news, video, and more. Todd Gurley, 100-yard return from a kickoff position against Clemson. Second of his career. He did one against Buffalo 2 years ago. Dangerous, though, to have that.
I'm not a big fan of it, but I got to say, Georgia needs something. I mean, you know, they got every play they have a chance to score. I think if you can get the handball in the hands of Gurley, you might have to take the risk. They get the lead, I'm not so much in favor of it.
Landon Ard will kick off for the Gamecocks. He has kicked 8 touchbacks.
Well, they pooch it. They do pooch it.
Yep. So it's taken at the 20-yard line. And dumped.
It's actually one of the things Mark Richt said to us. We're putting Gurley back. We may get good field position because they don't want to kick it to him.
Brendan Douglas, 15 tailback, returned it. And let's check the Chick-fil-A starting lineup. Hudson Mason backed up Aaron Murray for lo these many years. Had a chat with him. We all did yesterday. Very mature young man, expresses himself so well, and said it all works out for the best. He thought about transferring, realized he'd have to live with that decision, and here he is. Right side deep, man open. Oh my goodness. Isaiah McKenzie, number 16, a 5'8" freshman, 164-pounder. That's a gain of 35.
Yeah, Chris Moody, number 6 for South Carolina, in and out, had this ball. Misjudged it. Totally misjudged it. When he realized it, it was too late. McKenzie gets it. Nice opening play for a guy that waited 4 years to play in an SEC game.
Mason again.
Touchdown.
This one underneath.
Touchdown.
Nice call. Sony Mitchell, another freshman. How'd you do that?
Sony Mitchell's a running back, caught South Carolina in a funny coverage. They did not line up properly. David Andrews and Greg Pike got big blocks on the play. I think even Michael Bennett got a big block too. 3 great blocks. How about that? Starting out with 2 freshmen.
McKenzie.
Yep, McKenzie and
Michelle.
And then think about it, no Marcus Mitchell or Scott Wesley. They go to the freshmen.
Marshall Morgan's extra point is up and through, and we are tied.
Well, 3 big blocks, but this was almost a walk-in. The center gets the block, right guard, and Bennett. Watch this. To top of the screen, quick pass. It was a touchdown right here. It was a touchdown as soon as the ball was thrown. Out. Really funny. They got outflanked inside. I know that doesn't work.
It's a
paradox.
paradox.
But they did.
One more look at the touchdown. Sony Michel. It's S-O-N-Y. Hudson Mason equalizes the score. We're tied at 7. Welcome back. 2 quick touchdowns, opening 5 minutes of the game. A long drive by South Carolina. A quick strike by Georgia. That man, Sony Michel, the freshman, on the receiving end of a touchdown pass from the senior, Hudson Mason.
Last week we heard about Nick Chubb and his outstanding run for a touchdown. Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, 2 5-star running back recruits when Georgia already had Todd Gurley and Keith Marshall.
Marshall Morgan will kick off for the second time. Sean Carson, number 7, back to return it. And he will not have that opportunity. Let's check in with Allie LaForce.
South Carolina defensive tackle J.T. Surratt was so passionate and fired up after that last drive that Georgia made. He went to every single teammate, and he near cursed them out. I mean, he was passionate and going, and the coaches had to retain him and sit him down in a chair and say, listen, this is a very long battle. This is not a sprint. You can't bark at your own teammates. We need you to tunnel that energy and turn it into something positive on the field. But it just shows you the passion and intensity that these players have for this matchup.
Well, he was getting some advice up close from his teammate Sherrod Golightly during Allie's report. First down and 10. Thompson, short catch made by the fullback Connor McLaurin, number 41, and Ramik Wilson, number 51.
Interesting start of this football game, isn't it? Two guys that have waited for 4 years. What does Hudson Mason do? Throws a touchdown pass here, something that Matthew Stafford and Aaron Murray never did. Throw a touchdown pass in the stadium.
There's the inside catch made by Brandon Wilds. Well, Georgia has had problems scoring in this stadium in the last 20 years, going back to 1994. They've never scored more than 20 points. They did in 92 with 24 points a win. Now, they've won a couple of those games here. But the last 9 games with South Carolina, they've got a 5-4 record. They have.
There's Leonard Floyd over the middle, right in the middle of the formation. Usually lines up at defensive end. They're going to move Leonard Floyd around today.
Toss left, fumble. Oh, it's loose. It's still loose. Lorenzo Carter's in the neighborhood. Got it. Georgia ball. There's another freshman, number 7.
And another freshman, Brandon Wilds, that missed the ball, too. Easy pitch. Got to catch that ball. He was running before he really secured it in, ran the option to the outside. That's just a horrible self-inflicted wound. And now, you know, Surratt, Allie was talking about how upset he was. All week, South Carolina said, get ready for Gurley. Get ready for Gurley. There's no Gurley yet. It's been all finesse so far.
That was Chris Conley in motion. Here's Gurley. About as tough to take down with initial contact as any player.
Yeah, but Georgia had another takedown. I think Escoblano, number 54, had a holding penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty from the
Kublano, it is number 54, Brandon Kublano. And let's quickly introduce you to the remainder of the Georgia starting offense. There's Theus Kublano, David Andrews, the veteran of this offensive line. He's got another Houston, Khalil Houston, another senior in Khalil Houston. That's Conley in motion, now sets up. Gurley, little step over, out of bounds.
Vern, we saw J.T. Surratt getting a little emotional. Now watch him come off the ball. He causes the holding penalty. His penetration forces the hold, so you know what? That guy was ready to play.
Second down, 13. Contact behind the line. Gurley breaks the tackles, and he is downed inside the 20. Sky Moore, number 10, defensively, a gain of 10.
And that's been one of the problems for South Carolina this year. Only 1 sack and only 5 tackles for a loss. They had a chance to get one right there and did not make the play.
Blake Tibbs is on as a wideout. Bottom of the screen, number 8. 3rd and 3. Right side, got it. Oh, Bennett. Maybe a little bit behind it.
Yeah, that was a back shoulder throw by design. We've seen that so many times, especially with Bennett. Hudson Mason loves to throw this ball, but just as Vern said, a little bit too far behind. Timing just a bit off. Completely open. Rico McWilliams had no chance on the play.
Marshall Morgan has hit 18 consecutive field goals. Tied for the SEC record with Fuad Reveiz from Tennessee. This for 19 in a row. And the new record holder is the junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Marshall Morgan. 19 in a row. That from 36, and it breaks to 7-7.
That was a big defensive stand for South Carolina, though, and I think I got to circle JT Surratt that time. Remember, they got on him a little bit, being a little too emotional. He came through.
Morgan has tied Reveiz, has beaten Reveiz. Beg your pardon. Welcome to Tony Gonzalez and Bart Scott, to our guys in the New York studio, our group. Morgan will kick off. Sean Carson ready to return it. And again, through the end zone and out to the 20. Quarterback comparison. Hudson Mason thus far 2 of 3. Dylan Thompson has hit all 6 of his. Dylan from Boiling Springs, South Carolina.
You know, and Dylan Thompson finished the second half of East Carolina with a hot streak. Actually hit 10 in a row, threw a wide receiver screen that was dropped. He came back with another completion, so he's taking up right where he left off from East Carolina.
There's Gurley getting a little medical attention. Floyd comes rushing. And that was well defensed. Mike Davis, the ball carrier.
Well, that's the style of defense that Jeremy Pruitt brings with this 3-4. Crash the end and then play 2-gap inside. Tremendous play by Deloach that time. Took on his blocker, came off. Little discombobulation on the run, and then make the tackle.
And Toby Johnson, number 88, on the field. Made the initial contact. This one goes wide open to the left side. Shaq Rowland.
You know, as much as Steve Spurrier might like to run the ball and play it honest and control that pass rush, so far in this game, Georgia hasn't covered anybody. Just haven't covered anybody. I mean, it's going to be very tempting to just line up and throw the ball.
That was a gain of 17 for Rowland. Gary mentioned how he seems to have come into his own. A lot expected of him when he signed with South Carolina as Mr. Football. This is Mike Davis. He was split out wide to the left. The fine running back. 10-7. Demir Bird is in, number 1. They'll test the middle, come to the right, and Mike Davis picks up a couple. Close to the 50-yard line. Looks like he's got the first down 10.
4 straight years in this game matchup. South Carolina has had a running back rush for more than 100 yards. Marcus Lattimore did it 3 times, and Davis last year.
And Davis, a slower start today, 7 for 9. This time he comes to the right and is caught. Damian Swain, number 5, the cornerback for Georgia. Damian Swan. You say Swan, I say Swain. Thank you. Second down 8. Blitz coming from the corner. Thompson tucks it, pulls it out. He'll run, goes left, and scoots out of bounds with a first down.
Well, he's no Connor Shaw, but he has to bring a little of that to this offense. South Carolina in a one-back shotgun offense. They don't throw it 65 times a game, but Connor Shaw has run in this game the last 2 years for 75 and 78 yards. Where are they going to get those yards if Thompson doesn't give them, some yards with his feet?
And out of the spread again. First down and 10. Brandon Wilds is the running back now, number 22. Had a fumble earlier in the quarter. Recovered by Georgia. They'll give it to him again. And tripped up at 3 men. Let's go to the studio for this Heisman Watch presented by Nissan. Here's Adam Zucker.
All right, Vern, thank you. Number 2, Oregon got off to a slow start, but Marcus Mariota is going to bring them back. 19 of 23 in the air with 2 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns on the ground, although he did go to the air right there to get that touchdown. Ducks do fly. Bryce Petty, big game last night in Buffalo. Brett Hundley hoping to pick up where Taysom Hill left off last week against Texas. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Adam. Second down 9 here, 10-7, Georgia leads. Thompson lets it go deep, incomplete. Intended for Jarrell Adams, number 89.
Let's give a little credit to Georgia's pass defense on that time. Rameek Wilson ran with the tight end. It was not an easy throw. In fact, I thought Dylan Thompson could have come to the other side of the field. He just let the ball go a little too quick. I think Dylan Thompson, after watching that tape of Clemson, in his head, he saw those 5 sacks that Clemson had, and he's trying to throw that ball on rhythm and not hold it, which, pretty good idea.
Third down 9. Gamecocks trail by 3. 4-man rush to the inside pattern. Intercepted by Georgia. Devin Bowman, number 37. And there is a flag. He's acting guilty.
Pass interference. Defense, number 37. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
I don't know if he's acting guilty or acting, what kind of rules are these? How do I cover this guy? Let's see what happens. Gets his hands on. Yep, he pulled it. Pulled the jersey. You're not going to get away with that. When you reach, you're vulnerable.
And so that negates the interception. And a new set of downs now at the 33-yard line. South Carolina about to run its 21st play. 3:30 to go still in first quarter. Blitz up the middle. Davis. Marlowe, excuse me, Herrera.
No problem. Vern, South Carolina substituted that time Cody Gibson, number 90 in the game at tight end. He's basically a glorified tackle. So right now South Carolina has 6 offensive linemen on the field. Number 90 is playing left tight end, and he's lined up right next to Rory Anderson.
And this becomes the 10th play of the drive. 3 down, they bring 5, play action. Thompson fires it. It appears to be caught. Pharaoh Cooper, number 11, a gain of 13.
Cut right in front of Swan, and Cooper.
Defense, number 88. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Must have been roughing the passer after he let it go, wasn't it? I was watching the replay.
I think so.
Toby Johnson,
there
was
it?
it?
Is.
Yep. Remember I said you better watch out? They're going to call that. They came back and did. They're not going to let you take a step and a half any longer on the quarterback. Much closer to the NFL roughing the quarterback rule this year than it was even last year in college football.
And so after the roughing the passer call, David Williams is in the backfield at running back. Play action, flip it left. Pharaoh Cooper, touchdown, Carolina.
Well, two Georgia players had a shot on it. Dylan Thompson bobbled the ball and still got it out in time. I think it was Corey Moore had the first miss, and then Dominic Sanders had the second one. Really didn't get there in time. That was a well-called drive. Got that one penalty and moved the ball.
Elliott Fry for the extra point. And the sophomore hammers it through. Another lengthy drive for the Gamecocks of South Carolina. They have reclaimed the lead here in Columbia. Gamecock crowd loves this rendition of Sandstorm. And they are up and about, especially after the second touchdown drive for South Carolina here in the first quarter. Each drive 75 yards. Dylan Thompson is 10 of 11. And South Carolina leads it 14-10. Gurley is back again. See if South Carolina kicks it short again. Landon Ard, yes, very short as a matter of fact. And two teammates collide. A fair catch called by Jeb Blazevich. Well, let's take a look, Gary, at the touchdown sequence.
Well, two big penalties on the play. The first, just a grab of the jersey that time by Bowman, number 37, and then roughing the passer. You're not going to let you hit the quarterback low and take that extra step, and then a little play-action pass. Dylan Thompson bobbled it just a bit. He knew he had Cooper wide open, and Cooper made him one player miss, and it was a touchdown.
Only the sixth play on offense for Georgia. It's Gurley. He surges over left tackle. Taylor Maxey, number 47, with the lead from the fullback position.
Boy, the temptations. What do you do? What do you do? This time you put a fullback in the football game, run the ball. But how do you use the offense if you're Mike Bobo? 2 plays for a touchdown. You got to continue to run the ball. You got one of the best running backs in the country lining up behind the offensive line.
Mike Bobo in his 14th year as the offensive coordinator. Himself a former Georgia quarterback. Timeout, Georgia. That is their second. South Carolina leads Georgia. Now it's time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success.
Well, we talked about in the open, Vern, how Hudson Mason and Dylan Thompson had waited, but there's been some good success stories in the SEC about quarterbacks who've waited. Tennessee, a national championship with T. Martin, DJ Shockley for Georgia, SEC championship in 2005 as he had to wait backing up David Green, followed by the name of Peyton Manning, played in front of T. Martin as we remember that. But you know what? If you look at Hudson Mason, his style reminds me of Brian Griese, who also had to wait until his senior year before he led Michigan to a national championship. Touch passer, strong leader, used the weapons around him in the running and the passing game. That's how, to me, Hudson Mason plays the game.
One of the great memories of that championship game is that Brian Griese's dad, Bob, was in the booth with Keith Jackson to call the game. Now here's Mason, 2 of 3 in the early going.
9 men in the box for South Carolina.
It's Quavon Hicks. Play action, Mason goes right. He'll keep it. Banged down from behind by David Johnson, number 55. And we've yet to finish the introduction of the South Carolina defects. J.T. Surratt, you've heard us talk about him. Sky Moore, just a sophomore, but has drawn a lot of acclaim already. already early in this his sophomore season. Got a T.J. Gurley playing safety for South Carolina, and a Todd Gurley running the ball for Georgia. Speaking of, hello, say goodbye.
Say offensive holding. Cablano again. Number 54. I wonder if it's on Surratt again.
Bring it back.
Offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
Cablano's number 54. I don't know exactly who it is this time. 54 is right there. This time, let's see who he holds. It's 52, Phillip Dukes. Ooh, that's kind of a weak one right there, I have to say. That's one Georgia fans are going, really? That one looked weak to me.
Second down 14 after the penalty. Wipes out the 54-yard touchdown
Has
run.
to scare you to death if you're Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, though.
Here's Nick Chubb, another of those freshmen. Five-star recruit. He and Sony Michel, and Chubb in the first game this year ran 4 times for 70 yards. He picks up 11 on that one.
It's going to be a little bit hard for Georgia to stay wide open, spread the whole game. They're already missing Marcus Mitchell, Justin Scott Wesley, and they really don't have the athlete at tight end. Jay Rome's been nicked. They really don't have, not with Artie Litch from a year ago. They're a little different. A big play there.
Huge. Mason Harris, number 34.
Mason Harris in a three-point stance. 4-man line, unblocked. Did not respect the keep at all for Hudson Mason. That's one of those zone read keeps action. But right now, South Carolina says, we don't believe you're going to keep the ball. We're going for the running back every time.
And that brings on the first punt of the game. Colin Barber, but he's going to punt it from a different direction. That's the end of the first with our score 14-10. South Carolina will return to Columbia after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome all of you back to Williams-Brice Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. We've reached the end of one. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce, Gamecocks and the Bulldogs in South Carolina leading 14-10 on 4th and 5. Colin Barber getting set for the first punt of the ball game. Farrell Cooper, who has a touchdown catch, is back. Here's the punt, high. And effective. Well, 14-10 South Carolina. They've had 2 75-yard drives, Gary. They did lose 1 fumble, but other than that, they played really well.
Yeah, for Georgia, they were the beneficiary of a couple penalties to get a touchdown for South Carolina, and then they had one called back that could have been a touchdown on their own side. So both quarterbacks holding their own. I think that's what I would take. I think both defensive coordinators now have to say, my secondaries are vulnerable. How do I cover up for the secondaries?
And we will see if they can accomplish that. Ball is marched to 15, first down and 10. Thompson off his back foot. Oh, brother.
I thought that was intercepted by John Atkins.
Yes. I think John Atkins thought it was intercepted by John Atkins.
It was obviously a slip screen to Davis that time. No, it was to the wide receiver. And I think it was tipped by Rameek Wilson, or it would have been intercepted.
Second incomplete pass for Thompson now. Gee whiz. 4 down for Georgia. Corner blitz. A lot of time. Into the right flat. It's caught at the 20. Shaq Rowlands had a big first quarter. Take you through Thompson highlights so far.
Dylan Thompson started out 10 for 11, 1 pass over the middle and incompletion to the tight end. Otherwise, he's been right on and even managed to scramble for a first down. Caught a little break on a play right after this touchdown on the first play of this series when that middle screen to the wide receiver could have been intercepted.
Mike Davis, the running back. 3rd down 3. There's a change. Shaq Rowland is top of the screen. Nick Jones and Farrell Cooper near side.
Spurrier calls timeout.
Time called, South Carolina. They lead by 4. All right, Adam, thank you. 14-10 here, South Carolina. Near perfect with the exception of that one lost fumble. And they look at a 3rd down and 3. Opening minute, 2nd quarter.
Big play by the Georgia defense. Already 25 plays in this football game. 3rd and short. Got to get a stop.
Blitz coming. Thompson dances right. Chased out of bounds. I believe before he threw the ball. Nevertheless, it was incomplete. John Atkins and Ray Drew.
Well, we talked about Georgia kind of losing coverage in man-to-man situations. This time they set in a zone again, but match up well. South Carolina crosses their receivers, and Georgia matches up nowhere to throw the ball. Great defense by that secondary for Georgia.
That'll be Tyler Hull back to punt for the first time for the Gamecocks, and Reggie Davis, number 81. Back to return. He has returned 7 thus far this year. Fair catch at the 40. 38-yard punt, nothing on the return. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC will continue after this word from your local station. Bulldogs trail by 4. He doesn't seem particularly concerned. Let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Guys, as you know, it's hard to play in this heat and this humidity, and Todd Gurley, every time he comes off of the field, you can find him stretching every part of his body, every muscle. He stays active. He hardly ever just sits down on the bench, and if he is, for one example, he put his foot underneath the bottom of the seat so he could just stretch one more quad muscle. You know, part of the reason they used him sparingly against Clemson is because they wanted to be able to have him and save him for the second half. The team is very conscious of how hydrated he is, how his body's feeling, and they constantly have a coach stretching him out throughout the game.
All right, Allie, he is the deep man. He gets the handoff and follows Maxey, and this one goes nowhere. Sky Moore, number 10. And Gerald Dixon, number 44.
Well, that's Gurley's 4th rushing attempt of the game. Now he had 2 called back on penalties. He had a 7-yard run and obviously a 54-yard touchdown run. So Georgia has left 61 yards and 7 points on the field. But Gurley has had 4 and 2 so far in this game.
Hicks now is the fullback. Blazevich, the tight end, and Reggie Davis is at the top of the screen. Gurley cuts it back. Modest game. Well, he had a monster evening against Clemson 2 weeks back. Did Todd Gurley. Here's the kickoff. That's his 2nd for 100 yards in 3 years. He also rushed for 198 yards. Caught a couple of passes, 4 total touchdowns, equaling a career high. 3rd and 6.
South Carolina's defense was last in college football in conversions. They're 0 for 2 stopping the team in this game.
Everybody up defensively. Mason.
3 for 3 now.
Gurley stopped short by Bryson Williams.
Late flags. That was a stop. It would have been the third consecutive third down stop for South Carolina had they got off the field. Let's see who the flag's on. South Carolina thinks it's on Georgia.
Fans now think it's on South Carolina. Well, let's wait and see here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 42. 15 yards to the end of the run. Automatic first down. That's number 42's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
That is Jordan Diggs, number 42. Got into it with Michael Bennett.
Todd Gurley head-butted that time, and that's why Diggs came in. See, Gurley headbutt on the play to Bryson Allen Williams, and that's what started the whole thing. We saw Todd Gurley do that in the Florida game. Remember when he got chippy against Florida a couple times?
Yes, sir.
He got away with that one, though.
After the penalty on Diggs, first down 10. Play action, Hudson. Nice one-handed catch by Jeff Blazevich, a true freshman. Number 83, his second catch in his Georgia career. He had one against Clemson.
That was nice, wasn't it? Timing throw, that's what he does well, Hudson Mason, and Blazevich grabs it, tucks it, and makes the play. Penalty this time helping Georgia in a drive, much like South Carolina.
Maxey is a fullback. He's a walk-on, number 47. That's Quavon Hicks, who sets up left, and here comes Gurley. Tries to bounce right. Good gang tackling by South Carolina, led by Sky Moore. Take another look at that headbutt.
Yeah, I remember it was started by Todd Gurley, but boom, that one was not seen on Allen Williams. And then in came Diggs, and then another one by Gurley. And I'm surprised the referees missed both of those. That should have at least been offsetting.
Second down, 8-14-10. 11:05 to go, first half. Too wide to the left. Conley and Bennett. Reverse. Isaiah McKenzie's got a blocker in front. They call him in high school the human joystick. He's just so elusive, but that one doesn't work.
Yeah, the safety was blitzing on the play. Actually, a perfect call by Mike Bobo. The reverse, perfect plays, got him outflanked. Does he trip over his own guy? I was wondering if he tripped over another Georgia player.
First down 10, just outside the 10. Georgia trailing by 4. It'll be Gurley for a couple. Gerald Dixon Jr. Not to be confused with his half-brother, Gerald Dixon. Made the stop. And take a look at the Verizon Week 1 red zone stats for Georgia. 2 touchdowns out of 5 trips for the Bulldogs. They have a second down here at the 8-yard line.
Playing way off of Michael Bennett at the top of the screen. Big cushion.
Mason lobs it. Nice defensive play. Gurley is tackled by Al Harris Jr., a true freshman whose dad, Al Sr., was an all-timer at cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
When you play zone defense, you have to be looking at the ball, and Gurley gets it very much similar to how Keith Marshall got hurt on one of those slip passes like that. Remember, we saw that against Tennessee last year. Slip the back of the flat, and that corner's got a straight run for you.
3rd and 8 at the 9. Four-man rush. Incomplete over the head of Blazevich.
Yep, that was just a lack of timing between the quarterback and the tight end. Aaron Murray and Artie Lynch used to have that one down. But when you got new players, especially tight ends right in the slot right there, they're just not quite on the same page. That should have been a completion. Mason anticipated it just a bit too much. It's really the 4th straight stop by the South Carolina defense on 3rd down. And remember, they're the worst in the country coming into this game.
This from 26 from Morgan, who's hit his last 19 in a row. Now make it an even 20. And that cuts the margin to 1. 8:56 to go in the half. Mark Richt's team trails by 1. Michael Bennett, are you open? Bryson Williams says, no, you weren't. Tough stuff. The Big Bang Theory is time traveling to a new night, Monday, with back-to-back episodes. Don't miss Emmy winner Jim Parsons as the new season begins Monday, September 22nd, only CBS. Well, this crowd waited patiently through a 1 hour and 26-minute delay. That caused by thunderstorms and lightning strikes in the vicinity of Williams-Brice Stadium, but they've gotten their money's worth having that game start almost at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia's already scored as many points in this first half as they scored the last 2 times they played here.
That's right. Marshall Morgan to kick off. Sean Carson will let it go yet again. And it's time now to cue the duck. And the Aflac trivia question. Steve Spurrier currently ranks 3rd for most victories as an SEC coach. Hope you weren't listening a while ago. Who ranks 1st and 2nd?
We're going to find out, right?
Well, yeah, for the 2nd time. It was an inadvertent giveaway.
You know, as Dylan Thompson starts out in this game for Steve Spurrier 11 for 14. Remember the defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt was on that Alabama staff when Steven Garcia had that hot game when he went 17 for 20 against Alabama, and they knocked off Alabama as an upset game.
How about Farrell Cooper on the toss? He's caught behind the line. Inside the 20. Aaron Davis, number 35.
Yeah, another flag on the play.
Illegal formation on the offense. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, Pruitt was on that Alabama staff. Then last year was the defensive coordinator at Florida State. And now in his first year working with Georgia's Mark Richt, replacing Todd Grantham. Thompson. Across the middle, good. Wow. That's Rory Anderson, the tight end, his 2nd catch of the day.
Pretty gifted tight end, isn't he? Again, an easy throw, a lot of space, just a crossing route, nobody there. Ramik Wilson takes the short crossing route. You almost got to turn the short guy loose and back up and cover the deep crossing route. That's just way too easy.
Crowd the middle. Looks like they're coming.
That was misalignment by Georgia.
And the man is open. That's Farrell Cooper. He has a touchdown catch today.
Trips to the bottom of the screen, but Dominic Sanders goes to the field. There's not enough people to the bottom. Watch a late shift here, and then not enough people to cover the trips. Wide open in the middle, a vacated area, pitch and catch.
Right, Mike Davis wiggles, finds room, gets out near the 50. Corey Moore number 39, but that is a gain of 8 and a first down.
Well, this is a massive offensive line for South Carolina. Good job that time by Alan Knott, number 70, wrapping around the center and fitting on the linebacker.
This time they'll come left. Davis breaks the tackle. And a flag.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to get a high-low block this time on South Carolina.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense. Number 71 and number 51.
Yep, 2 players hitting him at the same time.
Cody Waldrop and Brandon Shell, the right guard and tackle.
Yeah, he actually falls right over Sterling Bailey that time. I don't know if it was intentional, but he touched him just enough where the umpire makes the call. Because Bailey wasn't in the play. He wasn't going to make that play at all.
14-13, 7:15 to go. Dylan Thompson, just hurry, get it in, get the play. David Williams, highly touted freshman. Sat out last year. He's on the field right now. It's first down and 24. A lot of time off his back foot. And Mauger makes the catch, makes the tackle on Rory Anderson. Let's go back to Adam Zucker.
All right, Vern, thank you very much. Brett Bielema's Razorbacks doing road work in Lubbock. Jonathan Williams with his 4th rushing touchdown here. The team has rushed for over 300 yards and 6 touchdowns at Texas Tech. An old Southwest Conference reunion, 42-28 right now.
I remember those days well. Second down and 20. Got him! Demir Bird, number 1.
I don't know why the linebackers are biting short. Just don't quite understand it. It's 2nd and 20. Watch this linebacker right here. I'm not exactly sure who it is at first glance. Bites short on the running back. And then right over the top of his head, the ball goes. I think it was Herrera.
Was.
Just bad zone coverage. You got to force the ball underneath, especially on 2nd and 20.
And look at Thompson's start. 15 of 18. This one is dropped. It is a forward pass, not a lateral. Demir Bird. He's the fastest guy on the South Carolina team. He also runs track for the Gamecocks in the spring.
I had a chance to visit with Dylan Thompson Thursday after practice in the stadium, and you quiz a guy like, how can you wait for 4 years to play? And he just said, this is where I wanted to go to school. I had a good player in front of me, and I knew I'd get my year. I love it here, and I wanted to play for Coach Spurrier. I knew the offense, and I wanted to get my 1 year with this offense.
Mike Davis is split top of the screen now. They go deep, have him open. Nick Jones. And that is a completion. Those two have known each other since they were 5 years old. Dylan Thompson, Nick Jones grew up 20 miles apart.
Damian Swan reads the quarterback's eyes, does a great job of beating Swan on the short one and throws it behind him. Let's give credit to the quarterback on that one. Swan was giving a little distance. He saw the fake to the short guy. He comes up and he throws it right off his head. That's a gunslinger right there.
Blitz threatened, blitz coming, blitz picked up. Thompson goes deep down the middle. Intended for Nick Jones. Mentioned that Nick Jones is from Moore, South Carolina, and he's hurt holding his wrist. Maybe a stinger, elbow.
Boy, he really got the play on Mauger that time. Looked like he was going to go to the flag and got inside. And I got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line for South Carolina. No real pressure on Thompson, and that was the story in the second half against Clemson.
So second down and 10. Demir Bird, bottom of the screen. Four-man rush, but not much of one. Caught, touchdown. Rory Anderson, the tight end. 5:34 to go, opening half, extra point to come. Anderson with his first touchdown catch of the year. Extra point up and good.
Vern, I got to tell you, Thursday at practice, they ran that play to Rory Anderson 5 times. Dylan Thompson threw 3 of them. Then Steve showed him how to throw the 4th one. He goes, you got to put a little air on it. That's exactly what Thompson did on this one. Just put it up where the tall guy could get it against the linebacker Herrera. Watch it. Tight end on the linebacker. Wide safeties. He knows he's got it. Now just put a little touch on it. You got it, all that open space. He did it just like the ball coach tried to throw it on Thursday. Did you hear me say tried to throw it on Thursday?
Yeah.
It was a good verbal. It wasn't a pretty pass.
Oh, I hate to hear that. That's an error of a perfect story. Anderson on the receiving end. South Carolina has scored 3 times. Each drive has gone 75 yards. Yet another sellout crowd here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Cocky's been noisy so far. 75 yards for the 3rd time. And Dylan Thompson, 3 passes to 3 different players. Landon Ard will kick off. And it'll be a touchback, Todd Gurley. Well, let's take a look at the last 2 South Carolina players.
Vern, this is just checkers by Steve Spurrier. 2 wide safeties. That's the attack. First time with the slot. Let's watch on first down. He tries to attack the middle of the field on first down. It was there, but just a foot high. So, why not? Looks there again. 2 wide safeties. Do it with the tight end. Put a little air under it. Touchdown.
And 21-13 lead with 5:34 to go. Chris Conley in motion, number 31. Hudson Mason tries the screen to the left, and they pick up 1 yard. Sky Moore makes the tackle on Gurley.
That was a big-time athletic play by Sky Moore. That's what they talk about with Sky Moore being able to run all over the field. Point of attack may be a question mark. However, the league's changed. Point of attack linebackers not as valuable as they used to be.
Thompson.
Oh, he got that in.
Oh, my goodness. He had to thread that one. That is Chris Conley. Been battling a shoulder injury.
Yeah, I thought Rico McWilliams, number 1, had this. He looks at it the whole way and doesn't get his hand on it, right in between him and Chaz Elder.
First down 10, 16-yard gain. Gurley has had 2 runs called back, just a reminder. One of them a 54-yard run for a touchdown.
One thing you're not going to hear me talk about is South Carolina's defensive line getting tired. There's no excuse for getting tired anymore. I talked to Lorenzo Ward. He said, we got 9 guys. We'll play all 9.
Right.
Substitute if they're tired.
Second down 6. Another nice catch.
Beautiful.
That's Michael Bennett, number 82. Again, this Georgia team is missing Malcolm Mitchell, number 26, out with a knee injury, and Justin Scott Wesley may or may not be sitting out a suspension. And now a flag is thrown. He's also injured.
Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
John Theus. There's Mitchell to the left. Justin Scott Wesley. Jonathan Rump also did not make the trip. And by the way, Steve Hartman on the CBS Evening News last night with Scott Belly did a wonderful story on Malcolm Mitchell, who has joined a reading club in Athens. What makes it unique is that it's an all-women's reading club. And congratulations to Hartman for that terrific story. Inside pattern down to the 30. That'll be enough for the first down. Reggie Davis. Cue the duck. One more time. Flag. Steve Spurrier currently ranks 3rd for most victories Who ranks first and second? First, I think everybody will get. Bear Bryant. Vince Dooley, longtime coach at Georgia, is number 2 currently. Keith Marshall gets his first carry of the night.
You know, there's no real superstar playing on this South Carolina defense. Obviously, Jadeveon Clowney's not playing. But when you talk to Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, he said, I got a bunch of good football players. We don't have a superstar, but we're good enough. We have to play better in those down lineman positions. So far, I think they're doing pretty good against the run.
They are resting Gurley on this play. The freshman Nick Chubb is there, gets the handoff, and doesn't get much. Gerald Dixon Jr. made the stop.
Georgia offensive line had to replace 3 starters from a year ago. Gates, Burnett, and Lee. And they're struggling a bit being able to run the ball without holding on to somebody.
3rd and 7. Tibbs, top of the screen, left side. South Carolina with a blitz. Timing route into the left corner. Incomplete. Al Harris Jr. was there to knock it away.
Really surprised at the decision that time by Hudson Mason. Michael Bennett was one-on-one to the short side of the field with an inside technique right here. Showed man-to-man the whole way. That's almost pitch and catch with Michael Bennett. Really surprised he went the other direction and made the long throw.
Marshall Morgan is on for the field goal of 44 yards. 2 for 2 tonight, 3 for 3 on the year. He has hit his last 20 in a row. And the streak has ended.
The South Carolina defense has given up some yards in this football game, but 3 field goal attempts. I would think that the South Carolina staff is saying, we're doing our job. It's a brand new world on defense. You measure success by holding teams out of the end zone.
Started right, stayed right. J.T. Surratt, emotional leader of the South Carolina defensive line. Marshall Morgan, first miss in the last 21.
Let's be aware, plenty of time. 2 timeouts left.
Brandon Wiles gets the handoff and comes left. And Ramik Wilson, number 51, led this team in tackles last year.
SEC Media 2014 Defensive Player of the Year was the choice, and had a concussion in training camp, missed 10 days of practice, and had to earn that position back.
Yep.
Looks like he's doing a pretty good job.
1:49 to go.
Verna Quiet Leonard Floyd, number 84 so far in this football game.
He's there he is at left end. This will be Farrell Cooper out of the Wildcat.
See, those are the yards that Connor Shaw brought to the spread. Now they have to go to the Wildcat because, again, they've rushed for over 200 yards in each of the last 2 games, but 75 and 78 of those yards were produced by Connor Shaw.
Farrell Cooper did run 20 times last year.
And he threw
yes.
the ball in practice. I'm not going to draw it up what he did because somebody might see it, but he did throw the ball.
That's the handoff right side for Demir Bird. Everything's clicking for South Carolina. Gain of 14. Cooper stays in the backfield. Sophomore from Havelock, North Carolina. That's Demir Bird who goes back to join him.
Here it comes.
Nobody open.
Nice job by Georgia. They played their positions. They did their assignments. They looked for a big play and didn't get one.
Toby Johnson coming up, the Geico halftime report. Sans Gus Miles on. He was a guest in the pregame show, the extensive pregame show. Adam the Gang coming along with the Geico halftime report. Ball coach says timeout.
Let's think forward here a bit, Vern. If you were Jeremy Pruitt, would you do 2 wide safeties on this play?
I would not.
I think, let's see if he dials up a blitz here. Okay?
Fool me once?
Yeah, exactly.
Fool me twice?
I think they got to show us something. I think maybe some kind of a slot blitz. Nope, single high safety.
Thompson got a man open.
What a throw, huh?
Nick Jones.
What a throw. Those 2 guys that played basketball together as a kid, grew up together, were on the same path. That time you can't throw a ball any better than that.
Quincy Mauger made the stop. Look at this.
Against the senior-most member of that secondary, Damian Swan, and put a perfect throw. There's no defense for this. Absolutely no defense for that.
That's a pretty decent concentration by Nick Jones.
You could put 3 safeties back there. You're going to complete that pass. And you're right. Holding on because Mauger put a lick on him, didn't he?
That's a gain of 25 and a first down, 48 seconds to go. Play action. Thompson. Right open, Farrell Cooper.
God, he had him, and that's the one thing that Steve has been quoted on about these receivers. Is that they're doing a fine job. We got a lot of good ones. But we need to make some tough catches. And this is what they're talking about. Cooper in the slot is going to get open. Turns around Dominic Saunders, number 24, and that's the tough catch he's asking for. Quarterback can't put it in the breadbasket like the last throw every time.
Second down 10, 43 seconds to go.
Misread that one. Tried to force it.
Jarrell Adams, the intended receiver then. Thompson hit 10 of his first 11. He's now 18 of 25 for 232 yards. 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers. Third down 10. Four seconds on the play clock. They do get it snapped in time. Thompson. Mike Davis.
South Carolina should let this clock go all the way down to 1 second, or 2 seconds, whatever, and kick the field goal with the last play of the half. Boy, for a matchup in the past that has been very low scoring here, this one has had all offense.
Yes, it has.
We talked about 2 vulnerable secondaries, and they've both basically shown that in this football game.
Spurrier calls time with 4 seconds to go. And as they get set for the field goal that will end the first half, the attempt, Pat Hayden, old buddy of all of ours, fined $25,000 for $25,000 inappropriate actions on the sideline last Saturday against Stanford. Penn State almost lost in the news explosion surrounding Ray Rice. The sanctions were lifted against Penn State. They are eligible for a bowl game and full scholarships in 2015 and 16. And June Jones resigned Monday after starting the season 0-2 at SMU. I would think that's going to be a desirable coaching spot.
Heard some names.
I have too.
Avatal.
Yeah.
Coach Fulmer. Did you hear Philip Fulmer?
I did hear that.
Heard Mac Brown's name even mentioned for that. Well, we got to congratulate June Jones on an outstanding career, though. He's done a lot of good work in college football.
Yes, he has. Ryan Culbertson will snap it. Patrick Fish will hold it. And Elliott Fry, who's missed only one this year, and that was from 54 yards out. This will be 32 yards. And that looks perfect. Let's head down to Alley LaForce with Steve Spurrier.
Coach Dylan Thompson has waited 4 years for this moment. Already passed for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's
your
a
reaction?
good player. Yeah, Dylan's a good quarterback. We're giving him pretty good time. We got to keep playing another half like this.
You forced George into 3 field goals. Your take on the defense?
Our defense played the best we played this year. Hopefully we can continue.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Yeah, a little better than giving up all those points.
I gotta learn that Spurrier walk away. You know, the last sentence, you just start walking away. That's very effective. A lot of years.
If you're called the head ball coach, you can do that.
Well, when you run 44 plays for 298 yards in the first half, you're ready to get a little Gatorade at halftime.
Yeah, pretty good head ball coach. End of the first half with our score 24-13. South Carolina has the lead. Now let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio.
Touchdown Carolina. He's going to take it to the house. Michelle with a touchdown.
Down the middle, lofting for Anderson. Touchdown Carolina.
Before a crowd of 84,000, an excellent first half put together by the South Carolina Gamecocks. They lead it as we start the third quarter, 24-13. Now let's go inside the headset, powered by AT&T, official sponsor of the SEC. Here's Alley LaForce.
Coach, you had a couple big offensive drives, including a touchdown, that were brought back because of penalties. What do you tell your team to try to get them to limit those mental mistakes?
Well, that's the thing. You know, I told them, one penalty, a missed field goal, and it's a pretty close ball game. Both teams were playing pretty good overall. Where they're whipping us is on third down. They're getting third down conversions. We've got 0. So we got to take care of business on third down.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Allie, thank you. And Georgia will receive the ball to open the third quarter. Todd Gurley is back. Mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, he had a 100-yard return against Clemson. He also, in his first year at Georgia, returned the kickoff 100 yards against Buffalo, but they have given him naught in terms of opportunities tonight. Landon Ard will kick off. Again, this game delayed by an hour and 26 minutes because of lightning. We're not through the woods yet. This one fumbled. Picked up by Wilds. A little miscommunication with Gurley and the freshman, Brandon Wilds. And here's the bump. Wilds.
Yeah, stepping in front of Gurley, that's never a good idea.
No. Guess what? Wilds is not going to win that one.
Exactly.
Well, what are your thoughts about Georgia and how they play?
I understand what Mark Rick said, but I think 44 plays and only 5 third down attempts by South Carolina. That means too many big plays on first and second down. They've got to force more opportunities on third down. Too many chunks of yards for South Carolina.
And so the Bulldogs start from their own 15-yard line. And off right side, it's Gurley. And Gary, take us through first-hand trends.
Well, it all started with a rain delay, thunder, and lightning storm. And from there, once we got it started, the guy that was on fire was really Dylan Thompson. Had a lot of easy throws. Todd Gurley was controlled, but as Mark Rick said, 54-yard touchdown called back and another 27-yard run called back. 18 more plays And that's what I'm talking about. Only 5 attempts on 3rd down out of 44 plays. Too many big plays.
Mason, that's caught, but it's 2 yards short of the first down. Reggie, it's Chris Conley, 31 instead of 81. Chris Conley now in his junior year. He might be one of the most impressive young men that we've spoken to over the years. Just a terrific student.
Well, here it is, 3rd and 2. They're 0 for 4 in the game.
Got this one. And it's Kenneth Towns, number 9, getting a lot of action because of the injuries to those more accomplished wide receivers.
Chad Elder that time, Chaz Elder. Actually, Elder had a chance to knock that ball down, but a nice throw into the stomach for the first down. You know, on 3rd down, South Carolina is really playing the sticks. They're expecting the ball to be thrown short. Sooner or later, Georgia has to go deep on them.
Hudson gets Gurley. Gurley gets a bit of a block, not a big one, from Brandon Kublano, and Sky Moore makes the tackle.
Yeah, Sky Moore, I think, is number 10. He's crossed, just eyes on Gurley the whole way. Beats Michael Bennett's block and then wraps up Gurley and does not let loose.
It's a gain of 4, 2nd down. Jay Rome, the tight end, goes tight to the left side. Taylor Maxey is in at fullback. He's in front of Gurley. Gurley follows his lead and goes left. Breaks the tackle. Breaks another. And hauled down at the 25.
Oh, man. That's a guy of a different breed right there. That is a man with speed, body lean, a lot of effort, intensity, and a commitment from Georgia to run him from the I formation. Not a lot of teams run that I isolation anymore, and it's hard not to with a guy like Gurley.
That's a gain of 40. Sony Michel is the running back now. They'll spell Gurley. Maxey leads him to the left, and Michel leans out, and he picks up a 5, I believe. Let's see where the spot is.
It's right at that yellow line.
Yep. Yep.
Michel, same play. Give Gurley a blow. Run the same play the other way. Maxwell gets a nice block up there. Gets a nice block for Michel. You know, the play before by Gurley, as you look right at him, is the first time he's had a run of over 19 yards that hasn't been called back.
Right.
Against South Carolina in 3 games against them.
This is Michel. He's a 5'11", 208-pound true freshman from Plantation, Florida. Second down 6. Gurley on this drive, 42. And again, the big play that was negated. He had a 54-yard touchdown run called back because of offensive holding by Georgia. Michel still the running back. Scrambling defensively by South Carolina. They'll toss it. Maxey leads the way around the corner. Can't do much to help the convoy, and Michel is tackled. Jonathan Walton, number 28. Now Gurley back. Opening drive, 3rd quarter. Third and 3 at the 8.
Remember, it's an 11-point game. 3 points would make it a 1-possession game. It's still very early in the football game, though. Oh, fumble snap.
And it's going to be 4th down. David Andrews and Hudson.
Tough decision. Excuse me there, Vern. Tough decision for Mark Richt here. It's a successful drive. You don't want to come up with a 0 here right now. Are you going to go for it on 4th down?
It appears they will. 4th and 1. Gurley. First down.
Yes, sir.
First and goal, Georgia.
Well, there's a 230-pound man getting a head of steam at that deep tailback spot. Tight splits. Pull backside guard Greg Pike. It's an old Power O. It's been run at Georgia for 45, 50 years.
First down goal, opening drive, third quarter. That's Bennett stutter stepping. This is Gurley. Georgia on the boards. Touchdown on the opening drive of the second half. Well, that was impressive.
Well, there's no way around it anymore. At halftime, Mark Richt had to meet with Mike Bobo, his offensive coordinator, and said, we're going to have to score points. I mean, that's all there is to it. Just empty the whole playbook out. Remember, we rested Gurley in the first half a bit, only 8 carries. Let's ride him here with this first drive of the second half, and it produced probably 7 points.
Marshall Morgan for the extra point. Perfect so far this year. Good hold as Adam Erickson took a low snap and got it in place.
Well, he had the fourth down conversion, and he also had a 40-yard run in the middle of this drive. Following that left side, almost a bailout there. Good block behind John Theus. And just dashes, holds his balance, and falls forward. And then the deep I formation, follow Max. He doesn't need much of a block. Just make sure that linebacker goes outside the fullback, and you pretty much have a first down.
And here is the touchdown, Todd Gurley. 38th in his career, and we've got a ball game. 24-20, opening drive, first drive of the third quarter, 85 yards for the Georgia Bulldogs. Marshall Morgan will kick it. Sean Carson hopes to return it. And will from the 5. Hit from behind and dropped.
Yeah, Vern, I want to go back to that fourth down play and show you good offensive line play. Here's Brian Cablano right here and John Theus. Now watch what happens here. He's going to block this guy inside by being patient and taking the defender where he wants to go. When Phillip Dukes takes that inside charge, Cablano stays with his rule, takes the stunning guy and goes inside with it. Cablano had a couple of holding penalties, but let's salute him right there for a good block on the fourth down play.
And shortly thereafter, the touchdown makes it a 4-point ball game, 9:17 to go.
You wouldn't guess that he could block that guy inside, but stunted right into it.
And Davis coming left. There's a couple of missed tackles. And Ramik Wilson finally gets him on the ground. Davis a little gimpy getting up.
Both of them. He and Wilson both. Now, Mike Davis does not have the breakaway speed of Todd Gurley, but he's very, very strong. Looked like Wilson kind of rolled up his leg at the end of this play. Gibson grabs him, and does he roll up his leg? Yeah, catches his ankle, I think, underneath him as he falls down. I wonder if he got the wind knocked out of him.
Remember, he had some...
Boy, there's 2 guys down for Georgia, isn't there?
There is.
Mauger's down, too.
Yeah, Mauger's up near the 40-yard line, number 20, Quincy Mauger.
So 3 guys on one play. Ramik Wilson's going to go out. I think he got the wind knocked out of him when he fell on the foot. And then Mauger rolls on him. I don't know if he fell on his shoulder or not. And then Davis grabs his knee. Didn't he grab his knee right there? Mauger's limping too. But it was a first down.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike Davis has already made it to the bench where he's getting a little attention on his right ankle and foot.
Well, the last 2 years, South Carolina rushed for over 200 yards in this game. I thought they'd have to get close to that number. I have to be honest with you. I thought they'd have a tough time handling the pass rush and the blitz package, but Steve Spurrier and his staff seem to be one step ahead in play calling, and the lack of disciplined coverage by that young secondary for Georgia is just too many easy throws.
I don't want to be the harbinger of unfortunate news, but it has begun raining, and there are dark clouds surrounding us.
Well, I'll take the song Sandstorm. I don't want a lightning storm.
Again, a lot of time and a man wide open. It's Nick Jones. What a combination of these two lifelong friends.
It's just, they're just picking their poison right now. One time, they run it over the middle. The next time, they come out to the sideline. I don't even know which guy it is. I think he's the widest guy this time. Yes, he comes in, he crosses with Rory Anderson, and goes back out. Damian Swan jumps on the low man, and then from the outside, Aaron Davis just a little bit too late. This Georgia defense lost their, 3 key players on defense. Josh Harvey-Clemens, Trey Matthews, and Shaq Wiggins. They've had to go all new replacements. They're not there yet.
Handoff. Brandon Wilds, number 22. Well, these two grew up within 20 minutes of each other. Look at this. Nick Jones on the left, Dylan Thompson. Marcus Lattimore was also a part of that triumvirate of friends. And Thompson told a fun story about when they were youngsters playing basketball. He nudged Jones and broke his wrist, I believe.
That's a foul.
And the payback was the next year when Jones nudged Thompson and broke his leg. Through it all, friendship prevails.
That cross splits up front. Finally, Jeremy Pruitt's going to try to get some pressure.
Rory Anderson has had a big night. It continues.
It just appears so far that this South Carolina football team is ready for the package. They're picking up the blitz. That time, Rameek Wilson wasn't even picked up, and he didn't get to the quarterback. Nobody blocked number 51, coming right up the middle, and not enough time, not enough man coverage or tight man coverage to force Dylan Thompson to take it down and take his time on the throw.
Thompson with terrific numbers so far. 21 of 28, 271 yards. He'll hand it off this time. Wilds. Gain of 7.
Remember, this is a Georgia defense as South Carolina is stacking up these first downs that had 6 3-and-outs against Clemson in the second half. 1 4-and-out and held them to minuscule in that game against Clemson. So far, it's not there.
It'll be second down and 3. Cody Gibson is in as a tight end on the right side. There's a nice fake, and Wilds gets the handoff and another first down.
Well, if you think South Carolina runs to the left a lot, you would be correct. A.J. Cann and Corey Robertson, number 50 and 53, are the strength of that football team. Veteran big men.
Herrera gasping for breath, the linebacker.
And this is, as Vern told you, another tackle in the game right now, Cody Gibson.
Number 90.
He was 78 a year ago. Not very many 78s catch passes. He's 90, but he's another tackle.
Wilds weaves his way through and comes down 1 yard short of another first down.
Brandon Wilds goes 222 pounds. He's also a load. They're running the ball, a physical up front. That was an advantage South Carolina thought they could have. This is not a big defensive line for Georgia.
Davis on the bench. A slight injury, we believe. And so Wilds is in the backfield, second down and 1. 5:30 to go, third quarter.
double foot fake. He knows exactly what the defense will Georgia check out. Yes, they did.
Wiles! Touchdown, South Carolina. And the play apparently is under review.
And if he didn't get the touchdown, his knee came down inches short of the goal line. What a well-back play. And Dylan Thompson, as you look at the replay, Dylan Thompson did a brilliant job checking to this play. It's going to be short. They're going to get it first and goal.
Yep.
But Georgia showed the blitz, and Dylan Thompson had the patience to figure that Georgia would check out of it. He ran right into it, thinking they'd check out of the blitz. It's a double foot fake. The first time he fakes, finds out what happens. The second time, he finds out that they're going to check out of it, and then watch these guys block up front. We talked about Can, we talked about Robinson, and we talked about Cody Gibson. They all got big blocks.
Wilbur Hackett Jr. is the replay official. I don't think this should take long. It didn't. And we expect this to come back to the 1.
After review, the ruling is that the ball carrier was short of the goal line. The ball will be placed on the 1-foot line.
Wanted to also say on that run, Vern, that Alan Knott, number 70, the center, also had an outstanding block on the play. And I think that's perfectly spotted, the 1-foot line.
Yep.
Right now, South Carolina has in the huddle. If I'm Dylan Thompson, I'm telling my guys, no holding penalties. I'm telling Alan Knott, get me the ball. No turnovers, no penalties.
Well, what a terrific answer to Georgia's opening drive.
Right, and remember, South Carolina goes shotgun in these situations.
Yep.
Even though it's a half foot, they shotgun it usually back.
Brandon
He's going to go under and sneak it, isn't he?
There we go.
Yep. Got it.
Yes, he did. Confirmation comes from the line judge on the near side.
Well, that was a great answer, as Vern told you. Touchdown, touchdown. The Georgia defense had no answers.
Another look.
Can got a good push. Robinson got a good push. And an easy call.
Elliott Fry is on to attempt the extra point. Well, that was 9 plays, 25 yards. That is the 4th 75-yard drive.
Now, that leads to a lot of yards on offense.
Holy cow.
You have 4 75-yard drives. You've got a pretty good system going. Steve Spurrier's looking at his play chart and going, they're all working.
Dylan Thompson. He waited 4 long years to get his chance to be a starter. Raining, but Carolina leads it by 31-20. Let's go down to Allie LaForce.
We do have an injury update on Mike Davis. He was on the training table for about 10 minutes. He officially has a sprained right ankle. When he got on the table, he pointed right to it. They knew exactly what it was, ran some tests, took his shoe and his sock off, got him taped up, and they told me they're getting him right back in the game as soon as possible.
All right, Allie. Those those don't look like size 9s to me.
No, so far this year he's had a hamstring, a rib, and now an ankle. I'll tell you what, if I'm South Carolina, I do not kick this ball to Todd Gurley.
That's what Singing in the Rain looks like, 2014 style. Landon Ard will kick off.
That's one way to do it.
Yes. And now Red Lobster presents today's Scholar Athlete. It's Demir Bird, a major in sports and entertainment management, GPA of 3.40, track and field captain. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of South Carolina's General Scholarship Fund. Georgia opened this half with its most impressive drive tonight. Let's see if they have an answer. Here's a quick flip. Chris Conley out to the right. Shakes one tackle and gets 6 yards on the play. TJ Gurley, not to be confused with the Gurley who plays for Georgia, made the tackle. Number 20. Gurley. Wow. Jordan Diggs, T.J. Holloman, number 11.
And Sky Moore, number 10, forced the block, blew up the play, forced Gurley to cut back and cleaned up by Holloman. Sky Moore timed the snap perfectly and disrupted the play.
And he seems upset at something, does Sky Moore. 3rd and 3. Georgia 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Mason tipped, incomplete, 4th down. That was Gerald Dixon.
Gerald Dixon, number 44, inside right there is the guy who gets his hands on it a little bit early. The line left just a half step early and allowed Dixon to get his hands on that throw. Ball was intended for Reggie Davis, number 81, but not even a chance for it. Another 3rd down stop for the South Carolina defense.
And that brings on Colin Barber. 4:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Farrell Cooper is back to return. He waits at the 30. Taken. No fair catch called. Whoa. Sony Michel was the first man down. 40-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Gerald Dixon, number 44, had the tip pass.
Well, Vern, in the first half, it was Georgia's secondary, but in that last drive, a defense that only gave up 58 yards rushing the whole first half, gave up 44 yards on that last drive alone. So now if you're Jeremy Pruitt, they've gouged you throwing the ball. They've established that they can run the ball to the left behind Corey Robinson and A.J. Cann. What do you do?
You're asking me?
Well, I think well,
I don't know what you're the analyst.
Sometimes their X's are better than your O's, and it doesn't matter what strategy you have.
I'm familiar with that concept.
I think you have to slant somehow to force them to run the ball to the right to start with.
Mike Davis is back on the field. He starts to the left.
Yeah, and they stop that one to the left.
Yep.
I mean, it's totally left-hand attack here.
Jordan Jenkins, one of the few times. Here's Jeremy Pruitt. We've mentioned Rory Anderson comes out. Pruitt, in his first year at Georgia, He had heard rumors that Todd Grantham might leave, and he let Mark Pruitt's staff know that he would be interested in moving to Georgia if Grantham moved on, and Grantham did. Went to Louisville to join Bobby Petrino. Here's Rutsch. Oh, they got him.
Yeah, first sack in the game.
Marlo Herrera, number 52.
Well, instead of sitting in those zones, two deep safeties, they decided again to try the rush in the middle, and no one touches either linebacker that time, Herrera or Wilson. Dylan Thompson was not sacked against East Carolina, and so far in this game, we have not had a sack for either team. That's the first of the game.
That's a loss of 13 and sets up a 3rd and 24. Quick flip. Incomplete. So it's 3 and out. Well, Jeremy Pruitt, we had a chance to chat with him in a conference call, and he's from Alabama. He said one of the attractions of the Georgia job is that he has a son who's a senior in high school, Jace, who is playing for his dad. There you see Father Dale, Jeremy, and Jace Pruitt. He plays in Rainsville, Alabama for Plainview High School. It's only 2.5 hours from Athens, and Plainview last night defeated New Hope 27-7. That one of the primary reasons, access to where his son lived with his grandfather. Here's the punt. They'll let it bounce.
Just bad enough to be good.
Yeah, that's right. Reggie Davis said, "Get away from me." And a flag.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 74 of the kicking team. It's 15 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
That's Mason Zandy, Z-E-N-D-I, a backup left tackle, number 74. And that's the ball coach. Not too happy right now. Big play.
Yeah, right in the middle here. Well, they get locked up. Throws them down.
It's top of the right screen.
I see it.
Yep.
Not just him coming in late, Sandy, number 7. I thought it was going to be called for closer to the ball, but Sandy comes to the right side and picks up 15 yards.
Not everything is going right for the head ball coach. We had an hour, 26-minute weather delay because of lightning and thunder, and we've had a very good ball game. South Carolina, for the most part, has controlled. Georgia ran a very effective opening drive of this half. South Carolina answered to extend the lead to 11, but South Carolina just went 3 and out, and now Georgia with terrific field position, trailing 31-20. Here's Hudson Mason. Nope. Darius English.
Yeah, how about that? 1 sack for Georgia, now a sack for South Carolina by English there, but that was coverage. Bobo went 3 tight ends in the game and tried to go for the home run ball deep. Pressured out of the pocket, and then Mason can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Hudson Mason, Vernu Red, had it led a comeback at Georgia Tech, down 20-0. This field position, I think they need points on this field position.
Second down and 13. 90 seconds to go, third quarter. Here's the toss to Gurley. Maxey, oh boy! Did he run into his own man? It looked like Jay Rome had as much a part of that tackle.
Yeah, J.T. Surratt was up there again, pushing and pushing and pushing, and then he runs right back. Cablano's right there. He trips over. Nope. Right into the back. He gets shoved right into him. Jay Rome does.
And Darius English, who has been asked to replace Jadeveon Clowney this year, 3rd and 11.
Here's their muck type stuff. They just mill around Nobody puts their hand down. Rush from different angles.
Flag down. Procedure call.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
They just muddle around, turn around, keep everybody moving, and as they move around, just a little flinch. When David Andrews talks to left guard Cabano, Theus thinks it's a snap ball and he moves. Same look.
Now 3rd and 16. Gurley goes around the left side, now cuts back, looks for help. Mason cannot get the block, but Gurley's on the loose.
Wow.
And he's got a first down, Georgia.
Wow. There was nothing there. That play was defensed. He goes for sprinted. This is defense. There's nowhere to go. And then reversing his field, he gets around the corner, and no one is going to run him around. Darius English had no chance. Jadavian Clowney might have caught him, but English wouldn't.
Nick Chubb comes on for Gurley, who picked up 17 on 3rd and 16.
And remember, they didn't have one in the first half.
Play action. Mason dropped. Chris Conley.
Yeah, a little behind him though. It was one of those timing balls. I'm gonna excuse the receiver on this one. Hudson threw this ball on timing, gets just a bit of a jar, and it's a little bit on his back shoulder. That'd be a tough catch.
All right.
By the time he looked up for the ball, it was halfway there.
2 seconds remaining in the rain on a Saturday night in Columbia, South Carolina. 31-20. Nick Chubb is on. He gets it. Comes up the middle. Oh, he's got an opening. Chubb out of bounds.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
Nick Chubb, another true freshman. Sony Michel, a true freshman. Keith Marshall, number 4, who was the number 2 back. Half of that tandem is still Nick coming off that surgery. And now Chubb takes this one as they rest Todd Gurley for the 4th quarter.
Long walk in the rain. That's the end of the 3rd with our score 31-20. We'll return to Columbia right after this word from your local station. Williams-Brice Stadium, 84,000 sitting through a rain delay, and they have been entertained. It's 31-20. The rain's still falling. We enter the 4th. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce, and Georgia with a 1st and goal at the 5. Play action. Mason got him in the end zone. Jay Rome. Touchdown, Georgia.
And I would assume they'd go for 2 here right now. Get it down to a 3-point game. Yes, they will.
Yep.
First down, play action play. One of the first ones you put in inside the 20. Slip the fullback to the flat. Take the tight end to the outside. Nice job by Rome adjusting to that football. He saw that one all the way and had time to turn and run with it. Turn and catch it.
And so the Bulldogs will go for 2, trailing by 5. Michael Bennett in motion. Loads up the right side. That's where Mason runs. Fires it. Got. Touchdown. It was Bennett who made the grab.
Ed Bennett, he's been making those catches.
Yep.
He's a great target, tall, fearless, knows his assignments, and as Steve Spurrier obviously knows, this is going to be a football game right to the last drive. Bring over the trips. Bennett comes across, and he's the one that finds the hole in the defense. Go out there, get in between the receivers, and stop. Perfect timing by Hudson Mason. Threw it to the proper side and picked up 2 on top of 6.
Well, on 1st and goal from the 5, it was Hudson Mason with his 14th completion of the night. This time, touchdown, tight end Jay Rome.
Now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Well, that unsafe weather stuck around for an hour and 26 minutes. Here was the first touchdown of the game. South Carolina, Shaq Rowland with a touchdown. The freshman, Sony Michel, with this 33-yard touchdown reception, tied it up at 7-7. Marshall Morgan, his 19th consecutive field goal, a new SEC record, gave Georgia a lead, and then Pharaoh Cooper caught this touchdown pass. That put South Carolina back on top. It went to 21-13 when the tight end Rory Anderson caught this pass. 21-13 South Carolina. On the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, Gurley, who has had a brilliant night with a 2-yard rushing touchdown, cut the margin to 2. And then Dylan Thompson, quarterback sneak for 1, that put it out to South Carolina 31-20. And just moments ago, it was this touchdown pass from Hudson Mason to Jay Rome. The try for 2 was good. Here it was, Michael Bennett just inside the end zone. And that puts us at 31-28. Most in history at South Carolina. Remember, we had that note earlier that Georgia had not scored more than 20 in 20 years here. Gosh, I
pretty good quarterbacks, as we talked about, too.
I just became an adolescent again. Didn't mean to lose my voice. It was impressive, but not all that frightening. Marshall Morgan will kick off. Rain continues. 31-28. And this one will be returned by Sean Carson.
They lost contain.
Down the left side. Morgan has to stop him and does.
Georgia all fired up to make a big play, pulling within 3 points. And just one guy goes inside too far, loses containment, and around the corner for good field position.
Well, this is as much as we had hoped for, really. A 3-point game here early in the 4th quarter. The key run just a moment ago was Todd Gurley.
It was.
17 yards on 3rd and 16.
We showed the touchdown and the 2-point play, but the 3rd and 16, reversing the field, that was the play.
Here's the first down at the 42-yard line. It goes left. Mike Davis. Rameek Wilson gets him. But it was
a run to the left. A run to the left. Surprise. Going at your 2 best offensive linemen, Corey Robinson, A.J. Can. Bounced to the outside, and as Allie told you, put a little bit of treatment on that ankle, retaped it, and he's out there playing.
Davis now 49 yards on 13 carries.
This would be a tremendous answer for South Carolina. Georgia feeling like they got control of the game. They're back in it.
There's Davis. Slipped the first tackle.
Remember, after the opening drive when Georgia scored, South Carolina came back and ran for 44 yards on that drive to score and answer that touchdown.
Leonard Floyd made the last stop for Georgia. Second down, 7. Davis out. Brandon Wilds, number 22, takes his spot. Wilds, big hole. Bigger hole. First down at the 23. Damian Swan made the stop.
When you cross your linebacker linebackers, you lose your second level of defense. And this time, number 52 gets blocked. Herrera by the inside. A.J. Can again picks up that cross blitz block, run right at it. There's no linebackers to pick it. You get a big gain. What a performance by A.J. Can and Corey Robinson. Actually, Ellen Knott, number 70, also doing a good job at center. The big tackles in Gibson as well at tight end.
On first down 10, it's Wilds. Huge hole. Stiff arm. Down the sidelines. Gamecock touchdown.
Went to the left, and they all were well blocked. One missed tackle, and Wilds into the end zone. How about that? 4 plays, 58 yards, all on the ground.
And set up with the opening kickoff return of 42 yards by Sean Carson.
I mean, I hate to say it, but A.J. Can, number 50, just makes this too easy. Georgia has to play better defense than this. You cannot get hooked like this by a guard.
Elliott Fry's extra point is up and through.
I think it's Ray Drew, number 50. Watch number 50 block and hook, and Robinson wall out on the outside. Watch these 2 blocks. Bang, he hooks him. Inside, Knott gets his man. By the time I think it's Ray Drew, 47. No, it's 89, Deloach. Gets off the block. Nothing can happen right there. Just precision blocking up front. And in 4 plays, Vern, even the kickoff went to the left.
We welcome you back to Columbia. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Vern Gurley getting a rest here. Michelle back to return the kickoff on this one.
Well, we're in Columbia, South Carolina. It was the start of the game delayed by an hour and 26 minutes because of lightning. We've had consistent rain for the last half hour, but no thunder and lightning. It has been a terrific, entertaining game.
Yep.
Just like this music.
And still anybody's game. Come on, we were there when Georgia was down 20 points to Auburn. Seemed dead in the water, and Aaron Murray led that comeback, only to have it taken away by that that long pass at the end of the game.
Here is Sony Michel, who...
Plenty of time in the game.
Yeah, takes a knee. Let's go back to the studio for a forward update. Here's Adam Zucker.
All right, Vern, South Carolina's been showing its depth at running back. How about LSU? Freshman Darrell Williams lined up in the fullback spot on 3rd and 1. He gets 22 yards. He had 2,200 yards last year as a senior. They lead the guys from Monroe, 10-zip. Back to you in Columbia.
All right, Adam. Looks a little drier there. 38-28 here. And Gurley's back.
Yeah, they rested him smartly,
yeah,
I think, on the kickoff.
Little hop, goes to the right side and doesn't pick up much. Sky Moore. Any resemblance from Gurley to anybody else?
He does. A lot of people have been dialing different players, but to me, he reminds me of Eddie George in style. Size, the way he slashes and gets into the secondary. Cutback runner, exactly like Eddie George with his lean. I would say, though, he's a step faster.
Interesting. He's got 114 yards on the ground tonight and a 54-yard touchdown run that was called back because of holding.
Oh, another bobbled snap.
Yes, it was.
The last one did not hurt Georgia. They came back and solved it for her. This one hit the ground. Solved it for a touchdown. This time it makes it 3rd and long.
new center in the game as well, Hunter Long. Now Andrews is back out there. It was Hunter Long on the last play.
Wow, did not see that.
3rd and 11. Oh, he's got it.
Perfect.
Conley. That's a first down, Georgia.
Well, you can see why Mike Bobo and Mark Richt for the last couple of years said, you know, we wouldn't be at all. I mean, we love Aaron. We don't want him to get hurt, but we would not be nervous at all of letting Hunter Mason throw the ball anytime Hudson Mason throw the ball the whole game. He's got a quick release, and you see it again right there.
And that's out to Bennett, Michael Bennett.
Beautiful quick release. Again, reminds me of Brian Greasy, the way he's in the pocket, his maturity as a fifth-year player, understanding the offense, and knowing what he's got to do now. Down 10 points, you got to put drives together.
Clock at 11:05. Taylor Maxey is in front of Gurley there in the eye on 2nd down and 1. Gurley's got the first down plus 3 yards. Sherrod Golightly, number 9, made the tackle. Todd Gurley has passed Kevin McLeod, Thomas Brown, and Rodney Hampton in this evening's ball game. Next, Noshawn Marino. Here's the toss left, and he's hit behind the line. Nice play. Jordan Diggs, number 42.
Jordan Diggs was the guy earlier in the game that got that personal foul. Number 42, end of the line, gets away from the block, got knocked down, and still made the tackle.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Taylor
nice
Maxey put him down, yes. 2nd down 10. Gurley, no block. Doesn't matter. It really does not matter. He's to the 31.
And that should have been a no game. Just like that 3rd down play. I mean, this is exactly Eddie George right here. I mean, this is the Heisman right here. It could be changing bodies on that one. Look at that. I thought he looked tired. He is coming out of the game.
Yeah.
I thought he looked tired. He played that play. It's got to be 2 downs to get a first down right here.
3rd and 1. Trailing by 10. 9:23 to go. Sony Michel, the freshman, is the deep back in the eye. That's Maxey. Quavon Hicks is also back there, and they give it to Hicks. Big opening. Quavon Hicks.
That is a gutsy call by Mike Bobo. I mean, this is a guy that's been criticized a lot. If that play doesn't work, those Georgia fans are going, how can you give the ball to Quavon Hicks? That is a gutsy call by a guy who believes in his game plan, and he dials it up and uses it at that moment.
That is a gain of 25 on 3rd and 1, and it is 1st and goal. Under 9 remaining. Michel is the running back. Same formation.
Same play.
They give it to Hicks again. He picks up 4. Maybe it's not over. Well, he was the fullback last year, Quavon Hicks, and he's been... They lost Merritt Hall.
Yes.
Starting fullback and had concussion problems, so Hall is out. Quavon Hicks started this year as a tight end H-back, and because Merritt Hall is gone, has taken additional snaps at the fullback spot.
A lot of credit to Taylor Maxey, number 47. He got a key block on the previous run by Hicks.
Sonny Michel still in there. It's 2nd and goal. Michel. Surge. Did he get in? It looked close. They're going to rule him down short of the goal line.
Greg Pike comes around. Down, kick out. That's that power O game. Georgia's been running that. There's probably 200 ex-offensive linemen that went to Georgia that are watching this game and said, I ran that. Telling their grandson right now, I ran that play right there.
3rd and goal. And Gurley is back in. They slip it to the fullback. Hicks. Touchdown, Georgia. How about that?
Mike Bobo had a game plan, stuck to it, believed in it, and courageously called every one of those. Again, remember, there's a little second guessing in college football. If those plays don't work, you get second guessed.
It's kind of like announcing.
Yeah, but
no, they're guys that say
it's those guys, 100 guys depending on those plays right there. We just get on the airplane and leave.
Marshall Morgan with the extra point.
These might not be two great defensive football teams, but they are two tough football teams.
75-yard drive. Hicks with the big play, a 25-yarder. 9 rushing, 2 passing. It's a 3-point game. 38-35, South Carolina still clings to a 3-point lead. And the last time the Gamecocks had it, they put together a very impressive drive.
It's like, so many teams nowadays are running these spreads. If you're able to run the ball, it appears that these defensive linemen and linebackers just don't fit like they used to. They don't know how to play the blocks, don't know how to get off blocks, and you can be just as effective 4 plays running the ball as you can, 5 plays throwing those bubble screens to the outside. Just a different way of attacking a defense.
And that last drive was all set up by a 42-yard kickoff return by Sean Carson. He's back. Morgan will kick off. 38-35. Returnable from the goal line. Carson. Very returnable. Flag, it's going to come back.
During the return, holding on the receiving team, number 20, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
38-35 here, and the NFL doubleheader for you tomorrow on CBS. Lead game early, New England at Minnesota. Lead game late, Kansas City at Denver. Others will see the Jets at Green Bay. And a game at Oakland. It all begins with the NFL Today, anchored by James Brown, presented by Southwest Airlines.
Vern, I would have to say that this is the most pressure-packed drive of Dylan Thompson's career. It's a must-win. We talked about the stakes early in the game. If they lose this game to Georgia, they fall 3 games, basically, Georgia would have to lose.
Here's Mike Davis on first down. Well, Dylan Thompson, 21 of 29 tonight. No interceptions. He's had a lot of time to spread the ball around, 271 yards. Leading receiver has been the tight end, Rory Anderson. The touchdowns caught by Anderson, Shaq Rowland, and Farrell Cooper. Second down, 6. Cooper and Rowland over to the right side. Rory Anderson. Now here comes the adjustment by Georgia. They keep it in close for the run play.
That time.
Yeah, they sure did.
Uh-oh, late flag again.
Quincy Mauger made the tackle.
But penalties have been a big part of this football game. Rory Anderson is arguing, isn't it? Was it on him? Yeah, they're going to decline it. Georgia is.
Personal foul. Blocking below the waist. Offense, number 81.
Yep.
That penalty is refused. Third down.
Number 81, Rory Anderson, blocking below the waist. He's in the wingback position right there. Let's take a peek and see what happens. I thought you could do that. I must be wrong. They've tweaked that rule. I thought he was within movement. It's going to be another 5 yards back.
Sure will.
It's going to be third and long.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Let's remember last game against East Carolina. East Carolina pulled within 7 points. And all South Carolina did was run 18 plays for 86 yards to basically take 10 minutes off the clock and put the game away before a final field goal. But they do not feel good about giving the ball back to Georgia and Todd Gurley right now, do they?
Third down 10, 5:39 to go. Only one turnover by South Carolina tonight. Thompson, a lot of time, deep, intercepted, picked off by Damian Swan, to the 10, to the 8.
Jeremy Pruitt got him, fooled him, Vern. There's also a flag in the penalty. It looked like two deep safeties, but Swan moves up to what they call a robber position. Bocce's way back here, but he comes up and plays the robber right in the middle and reads the quarterback eyes. Take your eyes off to catch the snap, and that crossing route that looks so open, Swan makes the play.
Intended for Nick Jones. And here is the discussion regarding the penalty.
And you got to understand, when you take the shotgun snap, you have to look down for the ball for an instant, and that's when Swan moved up into the robber position to make the play.
After the interception, doing the return, personal foul, blocking below the waist on the offense, number 4. That penalty is half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
That's on Shaq Rowland.
These games last a long time. A lot of plays. You got to hang in there and sooner or later make a play.
There's Shaq Rowland on the right side.
He goes to try to make the tackle, throws himself at the blocker, and that's why I guess they called the penalty. Don't quite understand it, but to me like he was attempting to make a tackle there.
And some disgruntled fans in the end zone are tossing trash.
Now, right now, if you're South Carolina, you got to get meeting on the sideline. If the touchdown happens, you're going to get the ball back. It's either going to be tied or have a chance to take the lead with the ball.
At the 4, first and goal, 5:24 to go. Gurley behind Maxey. That's Hicks who starts in motion. Play action. Oh my goodness.
I think he threw it forward.
Well, there is a flag.
No, I don't know. That could be grounding. That should be grounding.
14.
Yes.
That penalty. Lost him down at the spot of the foul.
That was a
second down.
lack of experience right there by Hudson Mason. Just panicked a bit. That ball should have gone outside of the end zone. Nothing was there on first down. Tried to get the ball inside to Hicks. Nothing there, and just somewhat tried to avoid the sack and grounded. Should have gone right over the top. It was a first down play.
Second and goal.
You know, as a play caller, that's where you got to trust the quarterback. You call a play action pass on first down, you have to trust your quarterback to get you out of a bad play.
Conley top of the screen. Now the shift. That's Blazevich, the freshman tight end. They give it to Gurley. He goes right. Looks for a block from Andrews and doesn't get much at all.
Yeah, Sky Moore was out there just trying to grab shoelaces, anything he could to slow down number 3. Gets Gets outside, defender taken away. Moore holds on, hold on. He gets away, but not before enough. Gamecocks can make the play to tackle.
Marshall Morgan is the place kicker. He had a string of 20 in a row end earlier tonight. But they'll need him if they don't get the touchdown on this play. They will need him for the tie.
Question is, do you trust your quarterback to throw it to the end zone?
Nope. Whoa. Surratt tipped it.
I give a lot of credit to Surratt. In practice on Thursday, he was addressing every missed assignment by every defensive lineman. He started off the game with intensity, and he's finished the game with intensity.
It's going to be Marshall Morgan, who was missed from 44. This is for the tie from 28 yards out.
Remember, it's raining. Snap and hold, snap and hold.
Nathan Theus will snap it. Erickson puts it down, and he
skimmed it. Oh, my.
Wow!
Did that go in late behind the post? Did it curve around the post? That was really close. Let's see what happens here.
No. He just missed the right upright by 3 inches.
Yep. When it went high, but it would hooked in after it passed the upright. Stayed out there. It even missed the upright on the big screen, too.
Oh, yes. Take a deep breath. It ain't over yet. We are back in Columbia, South Carolina. Let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Well, Vernon, Gary, Eddie George was listening when you made the Gurley comparison, and he tweeted to both of you. He said, thanks for the Gurley comparison, but a step faster, question mark, LOL, hashtag Burley Gurley. He also said he very much appreciates the love, but he calls into question the speed comparison.
Well, Eddie's thumbs are faster right now, I'll tell you that. He checks fast. And I love Eddie George. Covered him for most of his career at Ohio State, and obviously a great professional career he had. It's a fair comparison. You know, when we talked about Vern, about how Mike Bobo makes the call, you take the accolades when they work. Now he's going to take the second guesses when you don't give the ball to Gurley on first down. They got behind the chains with that first down play, and from there it just went downhill.
Well, first and goal after the Damian Swan interception at the 4.
Yep.
Gurley deep back in the eye, and Hudson Mason tried to throw it. It was intentional grounding, not much doubt about that.
All right, 3 timeouts still for Georgia. It's going to take at least 2 first downs to put this game away for South Carolina. Can Georgia get another stop?
Davis. 9, and the official went sprawling. That gets the biggest response of the night.
It's almost the best thing that could have happened for South Carolina, because I think they're just short of a first down here.
That's Russ Pulley, the umpire. That's a dangerous position as an official anyway.
So now you got 2 downs to pick it up, and it's going to be very difficult for Georgia to use their timeouts, because you almost have to assume South Carolina is going to make the first down.
First down, South Carolina.
Well, back-to-back plays. I'll tell you who's really had a nice football game in this game, and that is the center, Alan Knott, number 70. We've talked about Cann and Robinson, but Alan Knott has done a very, very good job. They say he's starting because he's a better shotgun snapper. He's a pretty good blocker, too. If they get a stop here, Georgia will use one of their timeouts.
Brandon Wilds is still in at running back. He's got 84 yards on the ground tonight. Gets a couple here.
Quick timeout right now.
Under 3 to go.
Wow. I'm surprised.
No time. Yeah.
I'm really shocked. These timeouts are not as valuable with the offense as they are with the defense. It's going to cost Mark Richt another 40 seconds.
He's got 3 left. .227 to go.
Yeah,
and they'll milk the clock.
Oh, yeah. It'll get under 4 seconds, and they snap it. 3 seconds.
Wilds, no. Certainly now he's going to call time.
Oh, yeah.
Not so far. Well, another 7 went by.
He ran out there. He did not get the attention of the official. It's surprising. You'd almost have to say before the plate, you'd be saying it.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. And take a look at that last sequence with Richt.
Yes, run the ball inside, tackle made right there. Let's say 2:14 on the clock.
Right.
So now instead of getting an immediate timeout, Mark has to run on the field and burn about 7 or 8 seconds. That's no big deal unless there's only 7 or 8 seconds left in the game.
Unless, and I'm in the corner with you. I'm still curious about.
Yeah, he should have warned him, and maybe he said, "I did warn you. I was going to call timeout," but they didn't get it right away.
So 2:06 to go. Georgia with 2 timeouts left. Up the middle, Brandon Wilds. First down, South Carolina.
It's going to be really close, I think. Did his knee go down before he got across the line? Again, good job up front by Allen Knott, running behind him and Can, excuse me. It looks to be just short.
Aha.
Obviously, review on this play.
They're going to bring the chain out.
Yes. I mean, it's inches either way. It's big inches for Georgia. This is reviewable, remember. He's tackled. He's in the grass. His knee goes down there. I think that's the right call. His knee definitely went down. He fell over the line after his knee went down. I think that's the perfect call. Do you go for quarterback sneak? You've only run one play under center all day, and that's when Dylan Thompson ran up there and ran the quarterback sneak.
Right.
Now, I tell you what I think they will do the first time is they'll run up there to run the quarterback sneak and fake it and see if they can draw him off sides.
Meanwhile, the clock 95 seconds. Yes. Georgia, 2 timeouts left. 4th down. South Carolina calls time.
Well, now, what do you do? I think you have to go for quarterback sneak here, don't you?
Yes.
It's an inch.
It's a smidgen. Fourth and inches. Yes.
If he gets the ball at the 50, the timeouts mean nothing.
Well, which causes me to go back when they were just under 3 minutes to go.
I didn't quite get it.
And Georgia did not use a timeout at that spot. Coming up tonight on CBS, Reckless, the season finale, and then another edition of 48 Hours. That's tonight's lineup on CBS.
Again, if I was South Carolina, I would fake the first one and tell everybody, nobody move. I think that's what Steve said, basically. Nobody move. Remember the last time they were in shotgun, he ran up and ran the sneak. Will he fake it the first time? They did. Yes, they did. Yep. You could almost see that one coming. Good job by Georgia. Did not take the bait.
So now Georgia still has 2 timeouts, but the value of which you could question. South Carolina has 1.
They're almost got it. There's no way anybody at South Carolina was going to move. Steve said, I'll take your scholarship away if you move on this one.
Well, go back to how significant this is, Gary, for the South Carolina team that was hammered by Texas A&M.
They had to have this football game.
Yep.
It's not just, I mean, I know it is. You're down a game and a half, but Georgia would have to lose 3 conference games if South Carolina loses this game, because they'd win the tiebreaker.
Missouri won again today out of conference. Kentucky playing Florida tonight. And Hudson Mason, long night. It looked like it was going to be a short night when they had first and goal at the 4.
Well, A.J. Cann and Corey Robinson and Alan Knott have gotten movement the whole game. I think you got to trust them to get movement on this one.
Goes left. See where the spot is. Whoa.
I thought he made a few inches on that play.
Look where that right foot spot is by the line judge. See where his right foot is?
But I don't see how this bottom judge can call that. He had no view at all. It seems like the judge to the other side of the field had a better view of it. And he's guessing as much as we are. See, the judge from the other side of the field got the call. And that's going to be a first down.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's no way it can be overturned. You can't see anything. It is reviewable, but what could you do? He makes a few inches, now he's lost. Nobody can see anything.
Well, here comes the chain. Are you still sure?
It's a very close game.
No, but you were so aggressive in your assurance.
When you're right, you're right. They're reviewing the call, but how do you overturn it? This guy up here is going to make the call to the top. What would the replay official do? Say no, move it back and in?
No. I mean, I
don't see how he could do it.
Not at all. HBC. Another look. And you heard the reaction. There you go.
The Georgia coach has called timeout to challenge the spot on the foul. The spot on the field. The previous play is under further review.
I'm trying to resist any reference to a game of inches.
Yeah, I did it already. Yeah, exactly. I think Jordan Jenkins, number 59, was the guy who got inside.
One more look straight down the line.
Yes, it was Jordan Jenkins was the guy who got inside the tight end's block that time.
Josh Dawson was also a part of it.
I don't know what they're going to do. They already moved the chains. They can't move them back.
The ruling on the field stands.
There's no way. The just review process is not that fine of a procedure.
Right. And so 1:22 remaining.
That was about as close as the missed field goal.
Yeah, you're right.
They'll take a knee and ball game's over, and a lot of great effort in this football game from a lot of people. Again, my overall assessment, two teams that are not championship level defense.
Thus 38-35. Will Sport, number 75. That's a perfect name. Takes his spot at right guard. Look at that.
Yep, the last link. It does not have to go past the post. It's the last link. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, a long night for...
Well, we talk about yards, Vern. South Carolina rushed for 58 yards in the first half, 123 yards in the second half, but it was those last 4 inches that ultimately iced this game. So I said their defenses, neither one are championship level. Can their offenses get good enough to give those defenses time to grow up a little bit in the secondary? Because right now, neither secondary is good enough, not enough experience. So a lot of pressure will be on both of these teams' offenses. And remember, South Carolina goes to Auburn and to Florida.
Yes. Georgia goes out of conference next at home against Troy, but then they've got Tennessee. And further down the road, South Carolina. Next week, they're at Vandy. They've got Missouri coming in. But as Gary said, at Auburn, at Florida, later in the season.
Yeah, Georgia has that. It is a a neutral game against Florida, and they got Auburn at home.
38-35, well,
an 8-hour day from the time we got here ended by 2 inches. A lot of fun.
It's a great way for us to start our 9th year together at the SEC on CBS. And next week, as we mentioned, we'll be in Tuscaloosa for Florida at Alabama. So the SEC East now, with South Carolina's win, they're 1-1. Georgia 0-1, and Vandy 0-1. 3rd and 13. Take a knee. My goodness. Dylan Thompson for the night. 21 of 30, 271. Steve Spurrier wins his 201st. For Huston Mason, tough night.
Well, both guys that waited 4 years performed in the game. They really did themselves proud.
let's go down to Allie LaForce with Steve Spurrier.
Coach, you reminded me that with a win today, you would have won 20 of your last 21 at home. You know how to play here. How does it feel to be back in contention?
Our defense didn't stop them much, but when we had to, we did. So really proud of the entire team. It just worked out for us somehow tonight. Dylan Thompson was really good. Running backs, defense, our third downs. Once we get our third down straightened out, we may be okay.
Talk about a game of inches, the missed field goal and then the first down. What was going through your mind at those moments?
I told Coach Rick, sometimes it's just meant for either you to win or the other guy to win. Tonight, it was meant for us to win.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the win.
All right, congratulations to the South Carolina Gamecocks, a game they had to win to remain viable in the SEC East.
I tell you, this conference is getting tighter and tighter. The difference between the great teams and the average teams and the bottom teams have closed up dramatically since I entered this conference 8 years ago.